Morning everyone. Just heading down for a walk by the river here in Brisbane. Beautiful day, quite a spectacular day actually. But I just had a treatment with my kinesiologist, Gabrielle. And what was really cool was a few things that I'm hoping to add into balances myself over the next little while. So if you see a few of these little bits and pieces, just letting you know. One of the things is about Gabby. She's a shaman as well as a kinesiologist. So whenever I have a treatment, part of her practice is her spirit guides often start connecting to her before a client arrives, which is a pretty cool trick, I reckon. Sanu used to have that, of course. When I worked with Sanu, she would feel energy coming through from guides or loved ones or the type of energy. And I used to have another practitioner, also Gabby, who used to have that skill as well. It's not one of mine. I feel mine is more because I've been doing it for so long and I know my clients so well that I can connect the dots, if there's things to be connected. But Gabby says I'm very connected and I get a lot of guidance, which is interesting because, I'm happy to have that guidance, of course, don't get me wrong. One of the big things she was talking about with me was that, and this has been a real year of awakening with everything we've been learning about the big stuff going on the planet, that I'm embarrassed and ashamed that I really didn't know about a lot of it. I've been in my nice little quiet bubble, and so it has been one of those years. And particularly for women, probably men as well, but there's a real sacred energy for women, which is to do with the whole pelvic floor energy. It helps to awaken our base chakra and helps to connect a whole bunch of the other chakras. So once we get that sacral energy going, funnily enough, down through the pelvic floor energy, and this is what I'll be sort of seeing whether it muscle tests up as being beneficial for people, it helps to get the kundalini traveling up through the spine. So there's like sacral rocking, this sacred energy that just starts to move. So I'm going to start working with that. It's really interesting. By the time I even arrived there this morning, she knew stuff was going on with my son. She knew there was stuff going on in my pelvis and my right hip. She knew there was, she already knew stuff. So I sat down, she said, oh yeah, and I started saying things. She said, I've written that down as we're going through that pre-consult sort of thing, which was pretty funny. So it's just always interesting to have a pracky with other skills and to sort of see what they know, see what they feel. And so anyway, one of the things that I'm going to also start looking at is soul clearing, because I do have some techniques for that, but I've never really gone into that. But because it's such big heavy energy on the planet at the moment, it's going to be much needed, and we're going to need some big balances over the next while to really help to get us through. Because if we think 2020 is a big year, 2021 is going to be massive as well. And I sort of think if things do end up potentially going the way that it looks like they will, there'll be a lot of very hurt, damaged little human beings on the planet who really need a lot of love and support and care. One of the techniques she was sort of talking to me that muscle tested up is it's about refilling the cup. So anyone who does work, she said an interesting thing about empathy actually, which I think I'll share. So at the beginning of sessions, she often finds out where your energy sort of sitting. I assume it's a scale from 1 to 1,000. That's what I learned with Map of Consciousness. But I think she can, it just goes up into the millions. So it's a whole other thing that she's working with the shaman energy. But what was, she mentioned, because when we're empathetic, and the way that you have empathy with someone is that you go up or down to their level. So if someone has felt shame and guilt and anger and frustration, you have to actually go to their level to feel empathy for them. So if you don't if that's your space with your family or loved ones or your clients or friends, and you go to their space and you feel energy, if you don't take yourself out of that space again, you can get stuck. So then, because everything travels in the body through, lots of things travel in the body through the lymph. So one of the big things that she found was that my lymphatic system was really, really congested. So therefore, there are things like wobble machines, where you lie on your back and you put your feet between two little grooves, rocks you from side to side, and it basically gets the lymph moving. There's also those little baby trampolines that are about a metre round, and they get the lymphocyzers, so they get your lymph going. Deep breathing gets your lymph going. Infrared saunas, so I've got an infrared sauna at home, so that gets it going. Obviously, lymphatic draining massage and even abdominal massage, hugely important for the lymphatic system. What else? Anyway, and then there's herbs. There's lots of herbs like pokeroot and cleavers, and huge amounts of vitamin C help the lymph. So there's lots of stuff you can do that really help the lymph. But interesting, with this big awakening this year, it's my lymphatic system that was so congested it was throwing out my hips. That to me was pretty interesting. Isn't it beautiful here? So anyway, I'm gonna go. They're just a few thoughts, but I'm gonna get the pelvic sacral rock going on clients, and I'll see at least whether or not it's needed. I'll have a look at the soul, see whether or not that needs working with some clients. That feminine energy, for women particularly, owning their sacred feminine, which, is just all good stuff. Anyway, take care. Bye.